Hi friends, this is Reddy from Wealthy Options. Welcome to 0DTE Pulse. Today is SENSEX Expiry. Let's see how the SENSEX Expiry went today. Today SENSEX underlying it gapped up 100 points, but that gap up was sold into in the first 1 minute. So let's look into the chart in the first in the lower time frame. So I'm just opening the 5 minutes chart. Yeah, if you look at this one, so we are looking at the 5 minutes candle, but actually if you look at 1 minute candle, there was quite a lot of drama. In the first 1 minute itself, Sensex fell almost like 250 points in the first candle, right? And then that's not all. In the second and third candle, I mean that is in the second minute and third minute, this entire 250 points, almost like 225 points was recovered. And then in the fourth minute, again the entire 225 points, the up move was shorted. So the Sensex in the first 5 minutes, so again it fell down by 200 plus points. Okay, this is what happened in the first 5 minutes. So this was quite a volatile. So when during the fall, I think the premiums were okay, but when this sharp the two green candles came at 916 and 917, the calls were shot up like anything, and then most of the the call stop losses were taken out, and then there was a sudden reversal from 918 and 918 onwards, so that took out all the puts. So let's look at the straddle chart so that we can talk in terms of a premium. So in terms of a ATM straddle, so straddle opened with the opening premium of about 450 points, which is like I think 50 to 55 points overnight decay. 450 points is kind of a okayish premium for straddle. So given when the volatility is kind of subsiding. At 916, I think the premium available, straddle premium was, I think it was available about like 420, 425. That's how I think the people would have taken, people would have started taking the positions, from 915, 30 seconds, 45, or 916 onwards. So I had some of the entries at, 916. So all of them, right? So I think I got the premium around 420 or 425 at the different times, and all of the positions calls got hit because from 916 onwards, as the green candle started forming and the entire the first 1 minute candle fall in the Sensex underlying got recovered, the calls shot up like anything, and even the straddle premium also, it was shot up by from I think it's all shot up by almost like 75-80 points. As you could see, from at 916, from 427 levels to almost like 505. So almost like it's a shot up of 80 points, and it happened very sharply. And then as usual at 919, as I said earlier, so because Sensex came down, so the put shot up, and especially the 918 and 919 candles it was a sharp downside move. So because of that, the puts also were taken out. So the first 5 minutes, the straddle chart moved from 420 levels to I think 505. It came down to 450, again it shot up to 500. So it was complete drama in the first 5 minutes, and because of that huge volatility both in the underlying and also the premium behavior. So as usual nowadays, I think I tweeted also earlier in the day, it is really becoming a big pain when you want to enter the positions early in the morning. Yes, premium, we get to pay, we get to receive more premium in the morning to because we are betting on the volatility in the first 5 minutes. Generally when the markets open, yes, they tend to be volatile, and the premium is supposed to price in all that kind of a volatility. But nowadays we are getting a kind of a weird moves, even if you get whether you get a low premium or okayish premium or even a higher premium. So the premium is going, it's going everywhere, right? And the volatility is very, I mean, continuously increasing in the first 5 minutes of the session, particularly in the first 2 to 3 minutes, right? So the same thing happened today also. So I've been, I think if you have followed my previous, videos, I've been reducing my morning early, like 9:16, 9:17, these kind of positions significantly. I used to deploy significant of capital in the early morning, especially in the aggressive strategies. I mean, which chase the theta decay, and I mean they are mainly meant for capturing the theta decay, but those have been failing miserably in the last 1.5 month. So they are not able to beat this weird volatility. As a result of that, I mean, I kept reducing my position size, and because afternoons you may not get bigger profit, but the losses also may not be very high. But in the mornings, so the profits will be very high. Sometimes if you see a very aggressive theta decay from 9:16 and 9:17, so you can see you can mint very good profit actually. But so that is becoming tough and tough. It's almost like a 45 to 50 days. We haven't seen such a good days. I mean, maybe except maybe one odd expiry. Otherwise, it was very tough, right? So that today also it was the same. Because all that said, volatility. By I think in the next after opening within the next 2 to 3 minutes, as my both calls, all my positions, both calls and puts got beaten. So I think I had a loss of about 0.4% in my account. So that's how the day started. After that, I mean. So I did had some of the entries, from 9:20, 9:22. I mean, all these entries, different entries after that. So they started capturing the decay. And after 5 minutes, if you look at Sensex also, I think it started consolidating. And I think the rest of the day is full of a consolidation with a maximum of, I think, 200 to 250 points without much surprises, except around 250. I mean, Sensex, just broke day low just for a candle or two candles, and then started recovering. But broadly speaking, it was a very calm day after first 5 minutes, and it looks like a bit of a choppy, but the range is 200 points, and the decay was very aggressive. I mean, it was a complete complete linear decay without any hiccups at all. I mean, there were hiccups, like very small hiccups in the first session with probably, I think 10 to 15 points or 20 points rise in the straddle premium and drop. But when you had such an aggressive decay, and when you had positions with which entered with a good premium, so these kind of a small spikes will not affect much, right? So that's how if you look at this decay, I mean, it was a complete decay. So except around 10:30 there was a spike of I think 40 points, which is kind of 15 to 20%. So, but apart from that, it's a complete linear decay. There is nothing much to talk in detail, about how the day went. Probably I think couple of things. If you observed during this fall, though the underlying was falling, I think the puts were not rising much at all. Even surprisingly, even during this candles, I was looking at 81,700 puts, 600 puts, 500 puts, but relative to the underlying fall, the puts were not responding much. That means, so actually the premium was not pricing a breaking day low. So that's how it behaves. But in that kind of a situation, if it really falls down, the damage will be much more higher, because the puts were not rising to the point they were supposed to rise, right? But that means they are priced low. But when the underlying really falls, and breaks day low and continues to fall, they will spike like anything. So fortunately, we haven't seen that kind of a behavior, though Sensex attempted to break day's low. There was a bit of a spike, compared to here, and it taken out a few puts also, but then it quickly recovered, and the recovery also not like not like these days big green candles and all. It was a gradual recovery, and then settled down till the end. So very smooth decay and very clean expiry, if you just exclude the first 5 minutes. But unfortunately, first 5 minutes, has taken out 0.4% of my PNL. But then rest of the day is all about recovering most of that loss. But then what happened is, when you lose good amount of positions in the first first 1 or 2 minutes, so I was trading with less position size, because as per the system, so I had comparatively less positions later compared to the first 2 to 3 minutes. So but because the decay was very aggressive, it tried to capture, my losses came down from minus 0.4 to flat, and then at the end of the day I ended with 0.32% profit. But then if you look at by noon, the premium was almost like a 135, and then by 130, it even went below 100. So at that time you feel like is it really worth trading for 100 rupees premium? So given you still have 2.5 to 3 hours, let's say in 2.5 hours time, 2 to 2.5 hours time for the expiry, because any movement, if you get a 150 200 points move, so you are likely to get a SL hunt, both either on either side, or sometimes if it reverse on both sides. So it may feel like that, but market always have a habit of surprising. So I just followed the system. I know that the premium is less, but we also need to accept the fact that so when the premium is very less, if you get a profit, you may get a kind of a tiny profit or small profit, and the loss also will be small. So it won't be like you get a bigger loss. Yes, you do get quite big loss very rarely if premium starts going mad. Something like if Sensex moves violently or either one side, so then you may see that even this 100 rupees premium going up by 200, 300 or 400 points also. So luckily we have not had that kind of a day, and it was sort of if you're an experienced trader, it is evident from the premium behavior and also from the underlying behavior that it's consolidating. And I was not expecting any fireworks, and that's how the day ended. So at the end of the day, I think so most of the positions were in I think the systems were taking 81,600, 81,500. So, and after 2:30 there was the price action in the Sensex was though it was a small range 150 200, but if you look at all these candles, so they were trying to hunt the both the puts and calls stop losses. You look at the the main body of the candle and also the wicks. There is, you can see even for most of the candles, these wicks are higher compared to the body of the candle. So I think afternoon session, if you ask me, like it's sort of a small profit, very small profit. Afternoon session did not contribute much. So early morning session, it gave a dent, but the rest of the morning session, it recovered all the losses and it got into the good, decent profit. Afternoon probably added for I think 0.1 kind of a profit overall. So at the end, my one of this account, it got profit of like 73,500, and the small account ended with 8,000 profit. And where is my another big account? So this another big account, it ended with a profit of 51,000. So decent day, especially given the hit I took in the morning with the 0.4% loss, and then ending with kind of a 1.33 lakhs profit. So it's okay. And just one more point I just wanted to mention, like afternoon, though the premium was less, during there were small spikes like 10-15 points and spikes and all. So some of my IV shorting, not all, some of them, so they entered and they have, some of them contributed for small profit and some for small losses, and no directional strategies triggered today. Because there was no, it was all, the Sensex was trading in a completely range bound. So, I mean, from the broader market perspective, I think except IT, all the indices ended in red. So, Sensex Nifty, I mean, they are down by almost like I think 0.3 percentage. Bank Nifty is down. I think sectors like a pharma and pharma, and then you have a I think pharma took the more beating. I think there was no exception except IT. Even the small cap, mid cap, and micro caps, they are all fell by 0.6, 0.7 percentage, right? So that's how the day ended. I think that's all. I don't think so. Today it's except for 5 minutes, it's a relatively very cool and easy expiry. So there is nothing much to cover and nothing more to learn. And in terms of first 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes action, so I've been continuously reducing my positions, and I will even from the next week onwards. So I will further reduce my quantity. So I will probably keep my early morning positions, the position size about I think 15 percentage of my, I think anywhere from 15 to 20 percentage of my total volume. Yeah, I'm sure this regime will shift at some point of time, and we may see some good theta decay or linear decay even right from 916 or 917, those kind of a times. And I may, because of the because of reducing the position size, I may miss out that profits. But what is important for me is especially given what is happening in the last 1.5 month and my trading personality and all. So I mean, looking at just realizing 0.4 percentage or quick losses, realizing 0.4 percentage loss in the just 1 or 2 minutes, it actually sort of disturbs your mindset. Though I mean the systems, those systems take care of rest of the positions. But what happens is, if you take that kind of a damage in the morning, the rest of the day all goes into the kind of recovering that losses. So I made my mind to miss any of that aggressive decay that may happen in the future expiries right from 916. But then I'm looking for a relatively less fluctuations in the MTM, especially in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And afternoons, if you look at overall, so you may not see a great profits and great losses. So except 1 or 2 odd days. So most of the days the MTM will not swing too much, unless you see a big breakouts, right? So that's my plan for upcoming Sensex expiries. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. And right, so with that, I think we have come to the end of this session. So I'll see you in my next episode with Nifty expiry on Thursday, right? So that's all. So signing off. This is Reddy. Thanks for watching.